You.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It's a lovely day. It's flat.
It's a little wave this morning.
Yeah?
There was waves. I drove past waves.
That's it.
Really? Oh, my neck hurts. My neck. I'm injured and I'm saving myself for tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
Proper stuff.
Man.
I'm going down.
That is epic.
Yeah. I'm not going to go lie in bed because I surfed 2 foot waves at 50.
You're going to go there.
It's northerly in the wind as well.
You're going to be, what are you going to be up there? A mentality monster.
Yeah. Oh, you can't wait.
That's seeding a segue.
Oh, let's see. Gonna do a callback in a minute. Oh God, stop it. Alright, well look, let's kick it off. There's been a fair amount of waves.
Yep.
What you been surfing? Where you been surfing? Who you been surfing with? You know, what stuff have you done on your surfboard?
So I've surfed mainly my 7.3 Decon 3 and my very own Puffing Pig. I know. Pretty much those are the only 2 boards I'm surfing at the moment. Good bit of swell last week was nice. Weekend was nice. This morning was quite fun. I had one session on, I think it was Wednesday Eve, where I don't know why, but nobody else was just down, like on the main beach ball. Although when I did go back and look at the surf line.
That was the bigger day.
Yeah, that was the big day.
Fistral was quiet as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody had gone to the shelter beaches because they thought like
it was
too big. And there was some real size on the sets, but actually it was really lolly and the rips were really clean, so you could just jump on a rip and just drift out. Yeah, it didn't feel stressful at all. And even the waves were big, but they weren't like, they didn't feel particularly critical. They were like quite easy paddlings, and then sort of but yeah, I scored Porth Tower, the only one in probably just touching. Oh, no, it wasn't double. It was a bit the easy 1.5 overhead, on the sets, and just running. And I could not believe it. I got that to myself on the 7.3.
Surely, if you were going to surf, like wait for the best day for your new little
The 6 foot one.
Yeah, like that would have been the day.
I think.
Did you just buy 2 Morris Coles because it's Morris Cole?
No, I did want a 6 foot like one board quiver killer type sort of thing. Because there's loads of days when it's like when there's a bit more chop and you have to duck dive it more, and you have to be a bit more reactive. I remember thinking I need a smaller board sort of to go on this. But I think it's with the 7.3, I'd be mixing up with the fins. And I think last Monday I said I'd settled on like a small the Almeric thruster setup. But so in my head was like, just give I'd surfed the IEPA 2+1s, which is like a really small, quite high reiki 2+1. It's fast. And I'd surfed on a couple of small days where I tried to kind of get some like nice drawn out pumps to get some speed, and I hadn't got the drive that I'd got off the thrusters. But when it was that big day, I was kind of like, I really just want to try that board with those fin sets. One, it looked big and the waves were moving quickly, and it's been really patchy, like 1 or 2 surfs a week. So my shoulders, my age, I just wanted something. I felt quite easy out there, like a bit more like a comfort board sort of out there because it was quite big.
Yeah.
And that fin setup, that board was magic that day. Like I was so. Sometimes you get like one of those waves where it's just walled up and you're able to really come off the lip and down, but like really commit to the bottom turn, really commit to the top, and it just felt, you could read it and it's so progressive that it didn't feel scary or big, but you could really just sort of get what felt like quite critical.
Proper clean face. You don't really get that much.
Never. And I remember thinking, like, I can think of maybe like 3 or 4 waves all year where like I'd had that real kind of just wall sense, top to bottom, like, and I had like 5 or 6 waves just like that on that one session, and I was like, surely people are watching. So I went straight back after onto Surfline, and I'd like, actually when you look on Surfline, it's all kind of closey and shit on the surf one, and I'd been surfing just right off it. Like there's one like on the long tail ends that come off. So it's a classic case where I reckon Surfline had literally turned people away from the beach. When you got there and got a full sense of it, you're like, oh my God, there's like waves all over the place and nobody's here.
It's like you say though, people commit to a different spot and then they run out of light, and then it's like...
That's it. I think it's a bit critical now, so because the light's so narrow, people are just like, go here. apparently there were like 100 people at St Aggie that evening as well, and it was just like a nightmare with so many people. And I was like, okay, it's so easy. But yeah, so it was a nice week. Kind of, we had such a shit 2 weeks, it felt like. So it felt like to get some nice swell. Yeah, surfed over the weekend. So it's starting to feel like good. Back on the Puffing Pig, which is like a little 5'4" nuggy, mini Simmonsy. Yeah, just enjoying it. Yourselves?
I surfed. I actually had I had a couple real good surfs just on my standard shortboard last week.
As in your which one's your standard?
It's just a fresh blade, round tail fresh blade.
Oh yeah, the epoxy glass job.
Yeah, and I sort of haven't been using it that much, but I'm really enjoying using it when it is actually 100% shortboardable.
Yeah. As in good waves, like.
Yeah, just a bit more size and a bit more power on it is just going really good. And yeah, I surfed South Fistral one morning before work, and it was pretty solid and just really fun long lefts. And it just felt so good to sit on your heel on a bottom turn on that board. I think with the round tail as well.
Oh yeah, because South is like, it offers you not huge amounts of lip, but quite a lot of wall push.
Yeah.
Almost not even wall, but like just burgery kind of wedgy double up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a pretty
burgery type of wedgy double up.
Yeah, it kind of offers the wall like it's gonna tip. It just doesn't quite tip until it closes out.
Yeah.
But it's still a really fun wave. Yeah. It's such a I don't want that hidden gem, but maybe like, what's the word when someone like it's kind of good, but no one gives it that credit. It's
I know there are quite a few people we know that like swear by South Fistral, like they kind of like.
Yeah, but it seems
it does have a bit of a reputation though of not being that
not
good.
being North Fistral basically.
Yeah, but I don't know. I always have really good surfs there, and it was just one of those surfs. It was, I think I was only in for about an hour, but it was just like bang bang bang. Just felt really good.
In tune with it.
Yeah, it was just like one of those surfs where you're in tune. And then I surfed the FM that big day.
Oh yeah.
At Fistral.
Have you looked over the footage yet?
Yeah, and it's not brilliant, no, for sure. But it almost felt like it was too much board for me in bigger surf. I didn't feel confident, sort of.
See, I always say the 6'9" FM. Once it gets to head height above, I felt like I have to really nurse it. You just can't commit to the rail on it, and
it's like you get that momentum going with the weight of that board, and it's like hard to actually do something with it.
It's too much on its line, basically.
Yeah, but Fistral was pretty sick. It was solid and offshore. And then other than that, I think that was the two main surfs. I think that's the two surfs I had. Yeah.
I surfed Fistral, trying to think, and I had a little bit of a nightmare. Yeah, it was a bit annoying. I was kind of wave magneting and getting all the good waves.
Oh, sounds awful.
No, but then like just kooking them.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, don't give me another chance. You know, it was almost like that.
You start getting nervous when you see the wave coming to you, like, don't fuck this up with your head.
Yeah, and what's been happening to me over the last week is my feet keep on slipping, and because I had the French wax on my board, so I was like, oh right, it's too hard and it's got too cold.
That's summer wax, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, from my French trip.
Yeah.
I'd like waxed them up with harder wax, and it had gone really hard because it's kind of old. I think like all wax does that. Eventually, it just kind of gets
Plus, it's
cold.
like 13 degrees now, like in the water, so it's winter wax time.
Yeah, and like even a top coat. So the first time it happened, I did a bit of a top coat and it came off, and I'm like, key it up a little bit and add a bit more wax. So the next surf, I did that, and it was kind of like the same thing, and every slip would just be I weren't quite ready for it. It was annoying. And then when we had I can't remember if it was that day or the day. Did I go in when you surfed the FM?
Yeah, on the BP. That was that day.
And I didn't get any good ones.
That was the one that was the time that you had fallen off on the good ones.
Yeah, that was, wasn't it? I thought it was on Medusa. It happened on Medusa as well. So I had two surfs, one with the BP, one just in case I thought it was the board. You know what I mean? It was like, nah, man. It's like it sounds sad, but I'm ready for boots. I'm not in boots yet.
I'm in boots.
I'm in boots.
Yeah, I'm not in boots yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want my boots. I just want our water is too cold for wax.
I mean, but
That's what I've got to.
You're making this sound like a difficult transition, but surely just putting your boots on is really easy.
Yeah, I basically spent a whole winter in boots that would, because they had worn out. The bottom would like ruck up, and it was just ruining my foot would just.
Oh, do you need to get new boots?
Do that. Well, so at the end of the winter, I'm like, fucking, this is doing my head in. I'm gonna buy But it was like to the point where I've max got a month left of boots, and then I've got a whole summer. So I went into Anne's cottage at Fistral Beach, and I just found the cheapest pair of round toe boots I could find just for a month. This is stupid, but because in my mind they were just like spare boots, I don't know where they are. Because I was like, oh, next winter when I'm going to get me some boots, you know, I'm going to get some proper boots. So I've emailed Solite, who are going to give me a pair of boots and for a nice price, and I'm going to do a nice review because I've heard nothing but good things about them. Joe uses them, says they're really good. Yeah. Everyone loves them.
We should do that review as boots because I think they're like
boot review.
Yeah, boot review.
Yeah, so
they changed my opinion on boots. I look forward to putting them on every year.
Because I use the wetties barefoot because I've got really wide feet, like crazy wide feet. They're the only pair that does like a wide foot cut, and they don't have any hard rubber structure. They're just like a kind of neoprene sock with a bit of grip, and so they feel really like complete. I used to hate boots because my toes always used to be cramped in them. Always used to go numb in my feet and then lose that feel of the board, whereas the wetties have been a game changer.
See, mine's always been like they're either too tight or too baggy, so I never get just like that sweet spot of a boot, just not because as we've just discovered with the wax, I struggle. If I have my feet slipping, like I'm not good enough to be like, oh, I'll just quickly put that in the right place. Yeah. I'm then surfing down the line like an idiot, you know, like. And then with boots, it was the same thing for the winter on the Rip Curl boots, where they were maybe a tiny bit too big or they got baggy somehow. So I'm interested to see if these just like hug my feet. Then I don't even mind if it's a bit like chunky. Well, I don't know.
You have to go half a size down when you order them.
Yeah, see, I hear all this shit with boots. Half size down, half size up. Anyway, I'm going to get some Solite, so nice. I'm ready for boots.
And get your grip back, get your mojo back.
Yeah, where we surf tomorrow, we're definitely going to need boots.
Where we're going, we're going to need some boots.
Yes, we are. People keep on asking me what I write down.
It's just dick pics. Just dick doodles.
I still don't think you tell them. I reckon you keep them guessing.
No, I just keep them guessing, didn't I? Anyway, so I surf Fistral, have a bit of a nightmare with my wax, haven't put boots on yet, but surfed South Coast yesterday with the Groms. Went for a little Grom trip. It's fun. It's fun little waves. Arguably for me, it was probably not big enough to.
Yeah, it's pretty small still, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I went in just because I'm like, I'm going to get wet, and what's the point of driving down there and just ferrying grommets about? I might as well go and get wet. So surfed there, had a bit of fun with the boys, and then we surfed Watergate Corner. Joe filmed because he had a photo shoot with O'Neill, so he filmed before. I was going to film him after.
Yesterday?
No, this is last week.
Yeah. Sorry. I was going to say it can't be much more than like knee high, like
no. Yeah, and it made me want to surf my BP round way more.
Which one?
6.6. I have like the 6.10 as well.
I know.
God,
I know.
It's funny, man. And my new board coming through the factory is a 5.10. Now, like my whole mindset's changed again. Just get me on. Like,
I find when I surf mid-lengths and then I go to short, like mid-lengths give you more time to really work on your form in the turners and turns and things like that. So when I go back to a short board, I actually surf them a little bit better coming off the back of a mid-length.
Definitely.
But then when I'm on the short board, I then have to start getting my energy levels higher in terms of like generating speed and that, which when I go back to my mid-length, like I think it's nice to swing between the two.
It is, yeah, it is. And I think probably if you do it in the right, within the right terms for yourself, you're actually probably getting a little bit better at surfing.
Yeah.
If you just keep doing it. That's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah.
Because
I will.
Yeah, I can't do a turn on my mid-length that feels like when I absolutely bang a turn on my shortboard.
No.
Like, I can't. But I can do more critical turns on my mid-length because I've ridden my shortboard for sure. Mm-hmm. And, like, I reckon I got that two-turner and I was, like, so stoked with that because I knew providing Joe hadn't missed it, that would have been, like, you know when you do some turns or you do a little combo and you're like, I wish I had footage of that. That was one of them, and I knew he was on the beach, so I was like, come on, that would.
Did you get footage?
Yeah.
So we're going to see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't know where or when or what, but yeah, there is some footage of me. It felt good because I knew that it didn't really matter about, like, I wasn't wasting his time necessarily. I knew he was going to get to surf.
Not an hour of his life filming you falling off.
Yeah. It pretty much was that as well. Like it wasn't actually classic conditions. It was fun. It was fun. Everything wasn't too squared up anyway, so I was pretty glad. I had a good surf. it's like the season. This is it now. This is the time where you go away in the UK and get really good waves.
Exciting, actually.
Yeah, any time before Christmas, you can go away. Ireland, Scotland, Wales.
Isn't there a cold
Northeast.
snap? Isn't it going to be snowing up there?
I think it's cold up there.
I've heard it's coming.
Yeah, cause
Like it's going to go into
minuses.
minuses. Like what if you get there and tomorrow morning it's like -4, -5?
Out there.
Irrespective, the water temperature's not going to be.
You'll get the bath effect. yeah.
cold.
It's cold.
Like it's hideously cold.
Yeah.
Like I have.
What,
been
you're
there-
doing it without boots?
Nah, I'm gonna source boots. Yeah, I have bought some. I have ordered some boots, but I've got to pick them up in South Devon, so I'm not sure if I'll do that road trip. In
Tonight,
time. Yeah,
yeah.
so probably just go and buy some other boots and make do. Maybe it's good to buy some other boots so I can do a review. I really enjoy UK between now and Christmas. Then Christmas and New Year come, you have a break, and then you've got to you just got to get yourself through January, February if you're staying here. But that's the perfect time to go away.
Yeah.
Jan, Feb, because if March is still cold, but if you come back in March, it's definitely
Well, you say
the
that, but
days start getting longer. And
last year, this year's Feb was the best month of the year by a mile.
was it?
Yeah, we had that epic run, like when it went into March, but it was mostly Feb.
Yeah, it was Jan Feb, I think. I
Jan
wasn't
Feb
here,
was
but-
it was epic.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was in Morocco getting skunked. But what
I'm gonna go to Ireland this Jan or Feb,
Oh,
like
yeah.
just get in the car, disappear, like
oh mate, it's my favourite place.
yeah. I think if it's cold,
Nah, it's a good wetsuit. And
just
you're
get like
absolutely fine.
Airbnb with a little. I just want a little hut with a log burner. Just go like
Hot shower.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So,
The thing in cold places to me is like putting on cold wet wetsuits in the cold and wet. That's hard. And I have been known to go on surf trips and not go in because I'm just like can't do it. Cannot do it.
Wet wetsuit.
Yeah.
And thing is, if you're not getting
It's
those
still
long-
dark.
Yeah.
You get up for the door and it's still dark. I mean, I've put on wetsuit I'm breaking
Ice.
the ice
Yeah,
off it.
yeah.
I haven't actually done it. Therefore,
But the thing is like when you're on those trips, it's like what you start to accumulate is like there's a little bit of cold in your soul. Like it's just in your core. Like you can't quite get it, the warmth deep enough. Like, and that's when putting on a wet wetsuit, when you're already feeling the cold within you,
So
it's
tough.
the worst. It's the worst.
So tough.
Oh,
I know exactly what you mean. I've had a couple of. Well, in fact, I've probably only had one real. No. When you surf for ages when it's cold.
Yeah.
And you get.
I prefer
and
this.
then you,
Yeah.
and you put clothes back on, and you for some reason you just need to feel warmth. Otherwise, you start feeling cold.
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
That's such a weird feeling.
It's like very early onset hypothermia, isn't it?
Yeah. But what I was going to say is you were surfing your shortboard and you said when the waves actually warrant it. And then I wanted to plug the clip that you did with Logan on Insta. On the is it the fourth Instagram?
yes.
Yeah, so check out the fourth Surfboards Instagram because I've kind of got Logan to be surfing his, what we would consider before like high performance grovelers, just as his everyday boards. And he goes out on his rock style when it's kind of like well overhead, kind of like closey outy beach, and just surfs his rock style and like
Looks
blows
good.
up.
There's a
Yeah.
bit of size there, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's kind of why I really like that clip is because well, one, Logan's surfing good, but two, you can still see. No offense to Wales, it's a shit wave. Even though it's probably a fun day to surf, it was still a shit wave.
But
Like,
it loses the energy pretty quickly. It kind
Yeah.
of goes, and it's like
and there's like flat spots, even
Yeah.
though it's pumping. Like
it's a lovely colour as well.
Beautiful colour, yeah. So like I really like that clip, so I was gonna say go watch it, but then so I was thinking to myself, what warrants a shortboard in the UK and what is the best type of board for a UK all-rounder? And I'm putting that in the pile of question of the week actually.
Okay.
What is the question? I've just said quite a lot of words.
What's the best UK all rounder shortboard?
Yeah.
No, just all-round.
All rounder, not UK.
Yeah, no, what's the best UK like
All-rounder.
daily board?
Oh, daily driver.
Yeah.
Well, so it could be anything from like a 7.2 mid length to a 5.10 hybrid.
Is it
to-
worth us talking? Is it worth doing a video on YouTube? We're supposed to be doing question of the week. I know you've got one,
Yeah.
which sounded interesting. But what made you go South Fistral? Need a shortboard? Do you know what I mean? Like what was that?
It was just a lot bigger, like a lot bigger, and I wouldn't have surfed my Chili Jam if I had it, but my Chili Jam's in for repair, and that's kind of the only other board I am surfing at the moment. It's like, it was definitely too big to be on my epoxy Rockstar.
Yeah. What about PU Rockstar? Hypothetical.
Potentially, yeah, but I really like a round tail on my backhand. Like,
Definitely on backhand.
It's just that I can get the bottom turn way, but like I said, I can actually feel like I can sit on my heels and hold that bottom turn.
Yeah.
And it was solid. It was too big for a chili jam. Yeah, PU, Rockstar, potentially if it had a squash, or I don't know if I'd go with a swallow.
So like, what would you need? So you couldn't, that means, because that day, although it was big, it wasn't like ridiculously big, it was just a day in Cornwall in the winter, weren't it?
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't a chili jam, so you couldn't say that a chili jam is like a daily. You couldn't call it.
It's in that.
What
It was on that sort of head to 1.5 heads.
Yeah.
So most boards like chili AM, you would go like, oh, it's up to head, and then you go step ups. It's like from kind of like head to double triple. But it was like in that bit. It was like the very top side of like your normal boards, the very underside of like your kind of like step ups.
It's quite a regular winter day though.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. Not that regular.
Yeah,
but
I've been thinking about it for myself. Like, I think I've got two, but which then doesn't make any sense because it's supposed to be one. But like my 6.0 doofer is that board in the right circumstances.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily size specific. So like when we were surfing, when we did the comp at Great Western, like my 6.6 was sweet. Until it got a little bit like the sections were coming at me quite fast, and then I would have like preferred to have the doofer, even though the size didn't really change that. It was more like I had to be like, you know, and it, like on a big board you're more like, ooh. So like it, like the extra rail length is like a hindrance, and then I quite often find, like when we did that video ages ago about does a longer board catch you more waves?
Yeah.
That day, I probably could have caught more waves on the longer rail line board, but the smaller board was easier and more fun to surf in that kind of weaky kind of section pops up.
Yeah. You can be more reactive to what's happening.
You can be a bit more reactive, yeah. So it's not necessarily about. It's just hard. It's a hard one to work out. I feel like for me, I feel like you have to go longer rail line, but you need to try and make them more reactive. So maybe it's like a.
Whenever I do that, I would just reduce my fin, so you just make it looser. Like, because the reality is,
yeah, I was thinking, what about
when it's big, you don't go in when it's big, when it's all fucking messy and you have to be reactive. You generally only go when it's bigger, when it's cleaner. Like, so the only times when it's messy and more reactive is when it's a bit smaller, and then I surf my longer rail lines as a twin, and then as it gets bigger, 2+1 or a thruster, like just to kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like a longer rail line board. And then you have a thruster when it's pumping, and you have like a 2+1, or even maybe you've got 20 boxes. Yeah. But yeah, daily board, I don't know. Maybe that is worth a video. What if you had to give every single surfer the same board in the UK and be like, you're all going to have more fun on that board? Or does it change for every single person?
Well, but again, like, if I was a young man, like, and I'm not that old, but my shoulders and like, if I don't surf for a week, I feel like I've gone back 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks basically. And so that's like in the summer, or when it's kind of when you've got more daylight hours and you can just be in the water constantly because you don't have to navigate work and that. I'm short, like I love it. Like my shoulders feel explosive. I'm kind of on it. I'm like 5'3", 5'4", 5'10" always feels like a lot of board, regardless of what it's going. But God, if I don't surf for a week, 2 weeks, I'm just like, give me my comfort blanket board. Do you know what I mean? Like, put me on the 7.2, 7.3, get my shoulders going again. I don't have to worry about where my shoulders are at. Don't have to worry about the rips. Just like... Yeah,
my comfort board is definitely...
Your 6.6 BP round.
6.6 BP round all day, which I guess is the one that you have to say...
I think the best daily driver is your comfort board. Like,
it's got to be dependent on the person. It has to be.
Yeah, so whatever that person's comfort board is...
Because
like,
mine would be a Rockstar.
There you go. That's your comfort board.
Yeah.
Not the chili jam.
Not for
because you've got to get the bigger days. Yeah. So what about if you calculated the average UK surfer and then what board do they on? I reckon they're on like a 6.6 midi kind of thing, and then like
it probably is a mini mid of some
and then
sort.
your higher range surfers are probably on something like the Rockstar, and then your lower range surfers are probably on something
or you're older, you're more gentleman.
Yeah, but like anywhere between the skinny mids and
Yeah, because I said my mini is skinny, so I like them 20 and a half and below.
Yeah, so yeah, I think something like that, and loosen the fins up. Yada yada yada.
My work here is done. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. It's all good.
I just used one of Tom's sayings that I always get him for.
Yada yada yada. Like I used to say all the time, he always gives me shit for it.
I felt just so weird saying it. You've got to do this review video about the skinny mids because people go too wide, too thick with those longer boards that they can't duck dive, they can't turn around.
The rail to rail's really slowed down.
So
it's like
you make a stiff board, kind of like in terms of shape and unforgiving kind of, and then you just loosen it up with the fins. Have a twin fin, and that makes loads and loads of sense for people.
It's a long, narrow twin fin, like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Flat rocker. I think that's quite key. You see it in like I think the Fiji's really flat rockered, and I think the Vicon 3 I've got is pretty flat rockered. The Tech's got a bit of rocker, but I think it's probably the same. I can do a comparison for the video.
Shout out Eli, Parents Davies, it's your birthday. This is going out tomorrow, but it's your birthday today.
Was he 15?
He is 19.
19.
Yeah.
19, yeah.
Yeah, he's 19. And he's a legend. And shout out at you, Eli. Don't buy my van, it's a terrible idea. Yeah, so I wanted to shout him out. I also wanted to, this is the most random shout out, but like it's so worth it. Liam Turner.
Mm-hmm. Did you just see that clip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I saw another one the other day.
One of the best surfers, I think, from the UK.
Ever.
Yeah.
If you don't know, if you're thinking about who the best surfers are from the UK, it's a guy called Liam Turner, lives in Indo, posts clips every now and again, but he's just put up ridiculous.
I think he's managing HTs or something.
Yeah, he is.
He's at the resort there.
I think he does the yoga there as well.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But he's got it pretty good.
Yeah, he has, and he's blooming ripping. So just go and follow him or go and look at his clips on YouTube because it's mental, and he is from the UK. Yeah, I just wanted to shout him out because I just watch his clips and I think, yeah, I want to surf like you. Reviews, get that skinny mid one done.
Skinny mid.
Skinny mids gotta be done because people need to know about how to order a mid-length, slightly longer and slightly narrower as a good all-rounder. Mate, we're segueing. Like I am just naturally like just spewing segues here. Does anyone notice this?
I can see you at home now with the kids. You like, kids, did you see that segue I just made?
But that was
What have we
ridiculous,
started?
man. I've gone into Logan, like callbacks from Joe and like everything. Now we're
Segue
like,
monster.
Skinny mids, it's the ultimate all-rounder. We've got to talk about question of the week being the ultimate all-rounder, blah, blah, blah. Here it is. And then I want to do a review on my personal new board because it's in our new tech that we've been working on. Tom's been sourcing the materials for it for probably over a year now. We have got the most sustainably made board in the UK.
Blanks made in the UK, 100% recycled, like...
Yeah. Highest biocontent resin on the market, also made in the UK, and we are not suffering one tiny little bit of performance from this either. It is what we want to make the board out of. If we had to ship them over from the moon, we would, but we don't have to. We sourced them in the UK. It's exactly how we want. We've had it all made from scratch ourselves. The boards are also indestructible. They're light. They have a PU feel, but they're EPS epoxy. I'm very, very excited about it. And you're going to have the first look at my one, which is, well,
Out there.
it's pretty out there. Yeah, I haven't gone my usual black and white.
Ever since you got that semi-final spot, like, you've changed.
You've earned it. Yeah. You've earned it.
I have. I've earned it. There you go. Semi-finals in the look.
Yeah, literally, mate. You changed. I don't know who you are anymore.
Oh, go.
Came in the next day, fluorescent pink board for many pictures.
Yeah, see me coming. So that review, we're going to try and get that filmed this week, so that's coming out as well. We speak so much about UK surfers and competitions and stuff like that, and you've obviously had a pretty big weekend for your secondary sport.
Yeah.
Rugby.
Yeah.
England won the rugby. So you wanted to talk about creating beasts basically and what it takes, because you reckon there's a guy on the rugby team who's maybe not the biggest, not the strongest, but he's
it's
the most dominant.
It taps into a lot, and there's a young tyro player coming through the ranks for the England team called Henry Pollock, and he's really made me kind of reflect on a lot of work I did previously when I used to run the sportswear design course at university. A lot of what I focused on was the idea that if you could get the energy right with the student, then you don't have to worry about like the grades analysing their work or what have you. It's if a student was engaged and working their arse off, the results just like looked after themselves. Like they would be developing their drawing skills, their CAD skills, because they were just so into it, the energy of it. And a lot of that was around disconnecting them from this idea that I, as a tutor, or any of the other tutors, were able to dictate to them what was good or bad or work. Because what you'd find is that emotionally, they would be trying to work out what we wanted to see, and then they would be hanging on what we thought that they wanted as a result. And it became very paralysing. They thought that they could only learn when they had a teacher telling them this is how they could be done. But if they became curious and inspired and energised by their own process, it's almost like you just leave them to it, and they would be on YouTube learning how to do stuff. I moved my whole sort of teaching practice around nurturing the energy within them as a self-fulfilling sort of prophecy. I did this whole series of lectures called Human Factors, and it looked at understanding how humans work, both in terms of how they work as humans, how they apply themselves as humans, but also like how to design around humans with sportswear design. And I did this whole lecture on energy as a self-fulfilling prophecy, and what I did is I showed them clips of hackers, which is the kind of like the war challenge. Dance is not the kind of right word, but it's a synchronized sort of like and it's basically them laying down.
It makes you so fired up.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It gets you fired up. And I had like, I think it was like 10 hackers, and they had to watch the hacker, and then they had to tell me who wins or loses, because inevitably the camera footage is they look at the hacker and then they look at the opposition, like facing the hacker. And I was like, look at the energy and tell me who wins or loses from that. They'd be getting it right around 80 to 90% of the time. So they could very accurately tell who was going to win the match relative to just the energy that the hacker was doing, and then the energy from the opposition. So I every time I see a hacker, I love it, because you can almost, you know, if I was like back in the gambling days.
The hacker, weren't they, this weekend?
So yeah, like the swing low, switch high, the crowd does. But I've seen many.
Do you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how.
Does the hacker like? Do the guys doing the hacker go fuck yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's, if they were going to get like precious about the hacker and go, oh no, don't sing over our singing. It's like no, it's a fucking war dance. Like, come on.
A clear advantage, I think, for them to have
absolutely,
that opportunity
like literally. So if the crowd going, because like when they're doing the hacker, they are literally tapping into hundreds of thousands of
beast mode.
Yeah, but it's not just them in that moment. It's like they're tapping into like an ancestral war energy. Yeah, like literally, like, and they've got all of New Zealand feeding into it. So they are literally channeling their forefathers of war. So obviously at the weekend.
By the way, he's going for the world's longest segue.
No, that was contextualizing. That wasn't like in rugby. One of the things a common phrase is like mentality monsters. So like South Africa are like the mentality monster masters, because they just turn up for the big games. They never go into their shells, and they just find beast mode every single time. Eddie Jones was a previous coach. We used to talk about test match animals, like players that actually during the main season on their club form, you'd be like, so what? Like, how are they getting? But when it came to the big stage, they always stepped up. They found this kind of inspiration within them. And this young 20-year-old who, coming through the junior ranks, was captaining England. They won the World Cup, I think, back-to-back. Came into the Northampton first team. On that year, Northampton went on a crazy run, got to the final of the Champions League. And he was putting down performances against the best teams in Europe, and was just finding this next level gear. And you could see it wasn't just him, but he was bringing everybody with him, basically. And when it came to the hacker this weekend, and I'm watching, I sit down like, here we go, the hacker. They start doing their dance, and then it just cuts to Henry Pollock, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to fucking smash them. Like, you could see in this 20-year-old lad, literally just there, like and the cynic in you would go, he's playing up to the camera, but like the way he plays and how he is able to stay in the moment, so connected to the moment. And it's not like he's reacting, it's like he is predicting what is happening, and he's a foot ahead of everybody else. You watch him and I'm like, that is a mentality monster. And it made me reflect on kind of, how do you create that? And so I got into like as many interviews about how his upbringing, like how you create this kid that is just there, was like shit at school, but like all of his parents, like her mum was like Olympic level pentathlete, his sister's like track star in the US, like college scene basically. brother is scratch golfer, and he was just talking about his growing up like every day, just the three of those kids just competing against one another, like playing it. And I'll show you, if you haven't seen it, like I'll just quickly check it out, like the England response to the haka. And you could just, like I said, it gave me goosebumps at the moment. You're like, yeah, there is a mentality monster. We're going to win this, basically. It's straight from the off. See the crowd. You see him how dialed in he was into the challenge of it, like the warm-up. And then actually it cuts to Marcus Smith, who's another young guy, he's like 25, 26, and he's got a face on him, be like, oh my God, we're going to win this. Bring it on. Yeah.
I mean, there's this rare thing where you let yourself off the hook and go, I haven't got any fear and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's such an addictive feeling. I was really addicted to it when I was younger. And I remember not being able to pull it out of myself. That was my biggest thing, is like I couldn't be that guy when I wanted to. But when I found myself being that guy, it didn't matter what sport I did, I was unbeatable.
Yeah.
It didn't mean fighting in the street with 4 kids all older than me. No one was beating me. It was there. And that is it. You're seeing that guy has the ability to pull himself into, or maybe he's just it the whole time, but it's no fear. That's what it is. It's just no fear. It's just, I am excited for the challenge.
And so it's interesting in interviews, and you can hear how he consciously protects himself in the way that he is able to go out there and express himself. And in terms of, he'll be like, oh, if they tell you, don't bother. Like he's telling little kids, like, oh, if they tell you, don't do it. Do whatever you want. And I think partly because he wasn't, by the sound of it, he wasn't great at school, like was always in trouble or what have you. And that has nurtured this almost, I don't give a fuck, like I am going it. And
ADHD.
He's got that vibe, definitely.
Yeah.
You can see it's that kind of, you take a kid with ADHD, you put them in like a school environment, sit down, pay attention to that, and they just like, their minds implode. But you go, okay, now go and be active and energized, and they're like just dial in, hyper focused, fully committed, got it completely. But what's amazing is his energy. You can see they're calling it the POM squad now, in terms of how it used to be called the bomb squad. Yeah. This idea, you have 7 of your best players on the bench, and at some point in the second half, you bring them all on, and it's just like the opposition's there, and they're just going, oh shit, like, but you can
monster after monster.
Yeah, literally. But he's now like literally you can see him on the sideline ready to go, and there's like this opposition are getting knackered, and then they're looking over it, and he's just there like, come on, let me on. You can really feel the England, the whole pace starts picking up in the second half, and they've been close, and then the last 20 minutes they just start pulling away from teams as this like energy comes on, and you can see him just getting everybody worked up. And there's so many stars now in that England team when they're coming on, but there is something about him, and I think he brings an extra 0.5%, and it's like, it's the difference.
And you're asking,
how do you create?
Because just playing devil's advocate a little bit, that's war, right? But surfing in heat isn't necessarily war.
It's competition.
To a point. But right, okay, so I make the competition. I'm gonna fucking catch the first wave. I don't give a shit. Get that guy out of my way. I'm going to catch that wave. You better not paddle near me. Otherwise, I'm going to literally mow you down. Then you catch the first wave, and it's shit. There's a set behind it, and everyone in the heat gets a wave.
Yeah.
You're needing your energy at that point to make them fall off.
Yeah.
Which, it's not to say it's impossible, but that is a mental monster outside of just your own performance. And surfing, you're with the element. So I think that I don't want to call it aggressive, but he's up for the challenge.
Yeah.
But the challenge of surfing, which is so hard, and which is why, funnily enough, I've always struggled massively with seeing it as a competition. That's just me being honest. And hold on, I haven't finished. So I have always struggled, to see it as a competition, because you need to stay in the moment. You need to be in the present, which I'm sure he does as well, but you don't necessarily have to attack that moment. You don't have to, you have to almost, your patience has to be part of the willingness to ride that moment. And sometimes it's aggression, sometimes it's making the call not to go on a wave because you feel like there might be a better one. You know, like how many times have you seen Slater do that? You know, where like, he's got a minute left, Oh, he doesn't go. And then 10 seconds left. He swings, he goes. It's a 10. Slater's through to the next round. Slater's won the comp. Like
So,
that in surfing, to me, that guy there, if you just put him on a surfboard, teach him how to surfboard, I think he'd lose quite a lot of heats. Because he'd be too...
But I guarantee there would be, in that moment when Kelly Slater's waiting for that wave, he'll be assessing where every other surfer is within the lineup. Like, he might be making like micro adjustments in terms of like, I need to be better positioned to this surfer, to that surfer. And so even though not a lot looks like is happening, he'll be totally dialed into that moment of competition basically, and how he is getting the most out of that moment. Whereas I think...
And you saying the rest is just actions based on that?
Well, a lot of others will just go and sit out there and go, I'm going to wait for a wave to come for me, or they might paddle around and get a little bit of advantage. Whereas the top athletes will love every single second of the competition of it. Yeah. From like 2 weeks beforehand, starting to psych out the opponent, to like on the beach, the psyching out, like building up to it, like getting in other people's heads, to then being in the heat, to I guess making off-putting comments, or just being in the corner of their eye. He might just go, okay, all I need to do now is just make sure I'm never going to be able to stop him from getting that wave. But if I can get into the corner of the eye when he's on that wave, like sort of, how do I get into their head, that omnipresent? It's like you were saying, you falled off, and like suddenly you start getting in your head, you see the waves coming, and you're like, I don't want to fall off on that one. There's all of that, and it's understanding what the competition is, what the rules of that competition are.
You're going to face those same questions in every sport.
Yeah.
Yet, and let's just say I can only go by my experience.
Yeah.
So although I haven't been top level at anything I've ever done, I've been at the time a reasonably high level for. I would say I was an overachiever in every sport I've done. Like football when I was a kid, never the best footballer, but I was in all the good teams, and getting trials for certain teams, and then boxing, like only boxing a couple of months, and then like winning fights, and then the same with jiu-jitsu, like getting to the final in my first comp, and golf, getting to scratch in 5 years. I was always overachieving to that point. And I understand that is quite a low bar. I'm not that guy in the rugby team, and I don't know what it takes to get there. But all of those sports that I've just mentioned, I can will myself to where I need to be. With surfing, I love the fact that I can't. I love the fact that with surfing, there's a certain amount of acceptance that I need as well. And that's why I think it's really hard to create a mental beast in surfing that wins loads and loads of heats. And I'm not saying that it isn't possible, because I think that you have got...
Oh, Kelly said there are people that go on and become champions consistently.
Interestingly enough, though, well, no, he's a really good example. Yeah, Kelly said Gabriel Medina, John Florence, people that can step
Mick
up
Fanning,
and promote it. Yeah, Mick Fanning as well, because he obviously had a whole career before he hurt his knee. Then he hurt his knee, and him hurting his knee was like he was chasing to get back to how good he was before, and then he realised I didn't know where that bar was, and he got past it and started winning world championships. And it was maybe he was too set on a challenge that was closed off, whereas the new challenge after his knee was just get better and better and better and better, and as a result the wins started happening. It definitely happens, but I don't think there's a slight bit of like spiritual zenness, or whatever you want to call it, mixed in with the warlike mentality. I shall not be beaten, you have to beat me. Like, I'm not going to beat myself here. I'm not going to, I'm going to step up to every challenge, because I think you can surf a perfect heat and still lose.
Yeah,
and like that is like, and I'm not giving people excuses, especially in the UK. They all need better mindsets, I would assume, because I think they're all pretty good surfers, and I think that there's definitely surfers as good as them or similar levels to the UK guys that do better in comp. So you'd have to say in your mind that it will be a mental thing, but it could be that it's a comfortableness. Like, so Portuguese kids get 120 comps booked in a year. England have about 4.
Yeah.
So if you expect, and let's just say the England guy's as good as this Portuguese kid here, you have to call it a surprise if the English kid beats the Portuguese kid, because he is so used to competition at that point. If the English kid beats him, is he better mentally? I mean, I don't know. Is he better mentally just because he's as good as that kid? How are you judging how good he is as that kid? It's so odd. Like, I feel like there are some like mental beasts in the UK surf scene who still they'd be decent at rugby mentally, not like they'd actually be a rugby player, but like their mind would work really well in rugby and football, maybe even golf and things like that. But would it in surfing?
Just to be clear, like Henry Pollock is a 20-year-old kid who, across the world of rugby, you've got players on the other side of the world either wanting to kick the shit out of him or copying his like kind of victory winning. So this is a generational talent in a sport played by hundreds of thousands of people.
Definitely,
around
and I bet
the world.
he found it kind of easy as well.
Yeah. Oh well, I think I was listening to a podcast saying how you get certain people that like fail upwards, like they don't do anything and they seem to keep getting promoted to the top jobs. And he has a knack that like every time the ball bounces, it bounces into his hands. Like every time sort of something happens, he just happens to be the person there.
That's the energy though.
And that's what I'm saying. And you've kind of said the same thing, that spiritual element, that percentage that you can't really quantify. Like, and that is part of the energy becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. That
Well, like, yeah, no, it is what I'm saying. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. I just think the other element is that, like, how do I win a rugby match? Ball over that line more times than over this line. And then surfing.
I think
subjective judging with waves that will never be the same again. Like,
but I think you're
even more magical.
No, I think you're looking at rugby, and when you look at that clip of Pollock, the most obvious thing is just the pure outward aggression and energy that's just like seeping out of every orifice.
Well, just fearlessness, I would call it.
Fearlessness.
Yeah, it's not even aggression, is it? It's like he's kind of
the relishing of it, just the pure excitement for the physical confrontation or the battle that's coming. And
it's fear, isn't it? It's getting rid of fear.
Getting rid of fear.
Get rid of fear. You then don't care about the outcome. Then the potentiality of whatever outcome might be will not get in your way of making decisions. It's going to help you.
And I would say when you get into rugby deep, as if you might get into golf deep, that sort of like any sport deep, there is a kind of quasi-spiritual sort of dimension to it, in the same way that surfing is. It's just that we happen to live and breathe surfing, and it's perhaps.
But isn't rhythm in surfing like?
I mean,
I feel like I've just always felt like when I've been in rhythm with the sea, it's like a gift rather than something that I've done. And maybe it's just the wrong perspective, but sometimes I am like, so I'll take off on a wave just before a set, then I'll paddle out, then I'll paddle through that set, then I'll sit there for ages and I'll do the same thing, and then sometimes. So I'll just take a wave and then get another wave. And then
on Wednesday, I got a long wave, come off the board, I'd paddle straight out with the rip, and I wouldn't even paddle down, I'd sit in the rip and drift down, and it just happened that the next set would come along by the time I got back to that spot, and it just felt like I was having to do very little work, and I was covering this huge ground, and I was getting wave every time, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in complete rhythm here with the sea. But even then, I do think there's a level of being able to see the rip, there's a level of your paddle fitness getting you there a foot ahead of where you would have been previously. So I think the more you work at all the other generic stuff in surfing, so like your paddle fitness, your like all the physical, measurable, quantifiable stuff, I guarantee all the spiritual stuff, the luck you might call it, will start coming easier.
Definitely.
So I think what we're saying is that there's an unquantifiable aspect, but if you do all the basics and get really as good at them as possible, all that unquantifiable just seems to happen as well. And you could say there's more luck involved with
you increase your chances.
You increase your chances, and you could say, okay, but you just don't get a set. What are you going to do about it? But it's I like to believe, and I guess it's a sense of you do have a control over the universe. That if you apply yourself and you have the right energy and the right mindset, the shit just looks after itself. There's obviously I think got to be a genetic. Yeah. God-given talent there as well. Not that I would believe in God, but you know what I mean.
What I want to say is, you said something about you've got some sort of control of reality. Well, you obviously have, because you're the only one that has your reality. Isn't that a crazy concept? Like, you're the only person who can see from your eyes and think from your brain, and everything on the way in, all this stuff that we're seeing now is actually our brain is creating that for us and using our eyes, and we're seeing it for what we think it is, not potentially what it actually is. Therefore, our reality is our own. So you do have control of it. And when you see these people who are like, you're like, oh mate, you should be over there, and they're like, well, I am, and I don't give a fuck, and their life doesn't change.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's if somebody is able to express their reality strong and vividly enough, everybody starts connecting or coming in. And the one thing they've been saying about this England team is they're all on the same page. So they are sharing now a sense of that same aspiration, same emotional levels, same picture. So they know. It's like when I talk to my dad about certain things, I know that we are genetically related because I will be saying something and he's almost finished the dots in his head. He's visualising the world around or interpreting the world around in an exactly same way.
They're all on the same page. And then another thing they say in sport quite a lot is they're riding the wave of, they're riding that kind of positive wave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost to say that everyone's understanding that the current trajectory.
Like winning is a habit.
Yeah, but it comes and goes and it passes, and that at the moment they're enjoying this peak and they're getting the most out of it they can. They're really utilising it this time, but the inevitable will happen. In order to create that high, you need to have the subsequent low. And maybe it will be a real test of England's squad, for example, in rugby. What happens on the next low point if he can do his magic in those situations, and what is that translate? What does that translate to competitive surfing?
Well, I think the simplest takeaway from Pollard's approach is whether England had won or lost that game, he would have still had such a blast and enjoyment of the actual match, like regardless, because he was just up there for the actual game. Like you can see it at the beginning, you can see it in the way he plays, and you can imagine that that's him in training every single time, and he's been able to keep that consistently since he was a little kid, just that pure energy, passion and enjoyment of the game. And he would have lost a load of times during that, and then he would have just come back and almost enjoyed the game more so, because he, like I said, there's a mentality monster there.
How do you help a surfer win more heats? Come on.
Well, I would say literally
directly.
Simplify the message in terms of what they have to do to improve, and then take all the pressure off. Like that's how you have a good time. Like make it really clear. This is how you get better. This is how you do it.
So don't hate surfing. Number one.
Understand what you got to do and enjoy doing it. Boom. It's as simple as that. Understand what you got to do and enjoy doing it.
And what do you have to do to consistently win heats?
So that's understand what you got to do. That's I don't know. I'm not a competitive surfer, but like, and that's.
Well, I think that's a question that. I think that's a hard question in surfing. I don't think that's that hard in golf or any sort of combat sports or any sort of team pitch sports with balls. I don't think that question is as hard. It's like get more points, knock the person out, get the ball in the hole in less strokes.
That's the same as surfing, though. Get big scores. Simple.
Yeah, but what if you get two big scores and the other guy just gets two bigger scores?
Or I get two of the biggest scores in the heat.
Yeah, so like the objective is to get more points than your opponent, but like how do you do it? Because
by being on the best waves and doing the best surfing.
There you go. All right.
You can simplify it, but it's not that easy, obviously.
But it's never that easy.
You could sometimes people win the heats with terrific surfing on the average waves.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes people get by the skin of their knackers on like the best waves and safety surfing it, and like now that's started to get penalised over the last few years.
Yeah.
It's like even that's not good enough. So it's like,
but if you are on the best waves and you do the best,
I think if we're looking at like
how many times has a rugby match been lost when by the team who scored the most points?
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many times has a surfer lost that's got the most points? It's the same thing.
And there's definitely...
No, not necessarily. That's what I'm saying. Because if the two objectives were to surf the best on the best possible waves, and you still lost the heat.
Well, I don't think surf the best on the best possible wave. The best possible wave doesn't matter. Just surf the best. Like that's the point. Surf the best. It doesn't matter what the waves are.
The best you can do on that wave.
No, you've got to surf better than everybody else.
So what if he gets a wave that allows an extra gear, or she?
But it happens in rugby as well. There's definitely been rugby games that I've watched and gone, fuck, they didn't deserve to win that, but they.
Oh yeah, massively. Yeah, So you think how did they even lose that game? They were playing so much better. And football happens all the time because you haven't got the same sense.
Oh, the Italy 1-0. Yeah, like
but
it's,
ultimately, the champs consistently play the best rugby regardless of the condition. Regardless of the best surfers consistently surf the best waves in the best way. that's what they
Yeah,
do. So
the payout might not be as black and white with surfing. I guess it's probably the short way around saying it. Like the payout might not be as cut and dry as winning or losing a game or winning or losing a heat, but in the long run, if you surf without fear and know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and your only focus is on doing those things consistently, after 2 years, and you go, right, this is the day that I changed my mindset. And we're 2 years on, you would have upped your winning record in surfing because of those things.
Simple as that.
So I reckon, man, it would be sick to see that sort of stuff getting implemented more in the UK surfing. But rather than saying to someone, hey, your mindset needs to change, things that would help would be like more comps.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Just naturally bringing it out.
Obviously, I've got a little one on the way. I always feel sorry for them now because you can see where my head's at. It's like, what do I need to be doing with a 6-month-old to create a mentality more? It's sort of like making them work for the bitty.
Well, like every like rich guy's got that story of their dad just dropping them off in the middle of nowhere and fighting their way home. Anyway, because we just chatted loads of shit that probably isn't massively relevant about surfing, I did want to bring something up. I've just seen it on Instagram. Just probably a little bit of juicy gossip. But I don't know if it's like a sign of the times, a little bit. JS Surfboards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Top world-renowned Australian shaper, Jason Stevenson, has just got an ad running on Facebook that he can ship direct from Australia to the UK. Whilst Down the Line Surf Shop massively promote JS surfboards and they get them shipped in bulk to the UK. Isn't that a bit of a fuck you down the line?
How much does it cost? I mean, it is good to buy things in Australia. The exchange rate,
know it is.
I do. I get lots of stuff from Australia.
Yeah.
But surfboard, the problem is
But
the
that's
cost.
why it's good business for someone doing it in bulk as well. Do you know what I mean? If it's good for the individual, then it's good for the business as well. But do you think it's right to sell a container of surfboards to a shop and then advertise in their backyard that you can also get the same products direct? And it might be cheaper. I don't know.
It's interestingly, it's the first time I've gone to JS website. I've got all the prices in pounds now.
Ooh.
Yeah. How much? Go on then. How much is a? How much
let's
is
have a
a?
look. It's all made to order. Let's find a board that. So Big Baron.
Yep.
So the price is six. Oh,
What is it? Competitive?
it is really competitive.
Is it actually?
Yeah. So the Big Baron, clear 6.6, 20 and a quarter, 649. Okay, fine. Shipping 80 quid. Total 729. It'll be a bit more than Down the Line.
Go on Down the Line's website. That's such bullshit. I'd be so angry.
But what, do they have rights to it, or?
Yeah, they do. From JS, and there's I think Shaw.
They might have
There's a couple of.
exclusivity.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
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 I don't know if that's right, though. That's just an exclusive deal. I mean, what more could JS possibly want? They've got
Yeah. So Down the Line it is 649. So it's the same price. So if you live local to Down the Line, you save 80 quid. But I think their postage is probably.
What, Down the Line's postage?
Yeah, if you're buying out from the UK.
It's got to be like 40, 50 quid within the UK postage.
Yeah, I mean postage of surfboard in the UK is about 50 quid.
Yeah.
So you would save a little bit with Down the Line.
Yeah.
But whether they actually charge that 50
And
quid.
it's made to order, so you could be saying, well, Down the Line's stock board.
So Down the Line's postage is 30 quid. So you are
saving 50 quid.
50 quid. But
But you're not getting a custom made board from Australia.
you're not, but it opens up a huge more of their range in terms of like, because there's loads of times when I wanted a Big Baron and I couldn't find the size that I was looking for through that, and I probably would have paid 50 quid extra if I could just got the right size from Australia. Like,
Do you not think you should just be able to order that from Down the Line?
and they get a commission. I mean,
I don't know, man.
that's an ethical.
Yeah, I think there's an ethics problem there. That's all I was saying, and I'm so glad that like.
Can't tell who we've done a favour there to, Jay. Sort of Down the Line.
I don't know. I just think it's worth talking about.
Yeah,
It's like
fair
we're
enough.
in the surfboard scene in the UK, and
It's tough
feels,
as is.
It's tough, exactly, and it feels like. And to be honest, JS coming over here, you know, customers getting all the boards that are
Our
designed-
GB team rides JS.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
They got all the freebies from JS.
Exactly.
Well, they didn't. They paid.
that's like
They
British
paid
Olympic money went to JS on their
Yeah.
boards. Like,
Oh, it's so backwards, isn't it? It's all so backwards, and then that proves what JS thinks about the UK. Nothing but a commodity avenue. Like, it's just right in this country. We have a scene, a developing new scene, cold water, easy place to travel. We've got good surfers. We don't have the depth or the heritage that some other places, but we've got our own depth and our own heritage. It's about time where the surf shops, the customers, the people that enjoy surfing for what it is, and the industry around it, and the glamorization of the sport, get behind their own like all the other countries, instead of going, oh yeah, well JS is just better because it's made in Australia. It actually isn't. Factually, it is not anymore. Go and ride a JS, then go and ride one of the UK made boards. All the comps are getting one on the
only
UK
boards I've ever
boards.
snapped is JS, basically. I don't ride them anymore because they're just like, shit.
And they're made in Taiwan anyway, and which Cobra's a brilliant factory, but it's still a mass-produced. Like, there's so many levels why you're getting a better deal from places like us in the UK, and we're slowly but surely like proving it as well with team riders and you know, shipping to other countries. And like, I just wish it would all get behind, you know, we should be working with Down the Line more, rather than them getting shafted by JS on the face of it anyway.
Yeah.
Why aren't we all working together, just like over there? Like, you go to Australia, you go to a surf shop, it's absolutely packed to the rafters of boards from the factory down the road who own the boards and then pay a commission when it's sold.
To be fair, like,
Down the Line are difficult for us to deal with. Really difficult. It's not an easy relationship. Me working with Down the Line is not an easy relationship, and we should get through those things because ultimately it's better for the customer, for Down the Line, and for us. Let's start doing that. And I think that what's happening now in our industry is you're getting more people come direct to the factories because they're starting to realise that. And a brand who wants to sell in the UK should, in my mind, get a board building contract with a UK board builder, just like they do in other countries, because you'll get a better board and the industry wins. Whereas if you import boards, knowing that they'll ship direct for a little bit more, what are you really winning? What are you really gaining? You know what I mean? Like, why aren't JS just made over here?
and they won't be Aussie made boards.
Well, a lot of them aren't. There's some of them are. Surely if you get a
Customers.
PU from their website, it will be made in Australia.
The PU epoxy, I think, are made in Thailand, and the
Yes.
PU polyester are made in Australia.
Yeah, it'd be very, very interesting to know what they're selling on their website to the UK customers, if it's only the imported stuff or it's actually the Aussie stuff. Wow. Anyway, we're going to go because that's been a while. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to go surfing tomorrow. Review videos are coming out. Hopefully a super session from tomorrow. Till this time next week, God knows what's going to happen. If anyone wants to jump on.
Which riders are out there tomorrow?
Me, him, Logan, Heath, Beefy. Shout out Beefy. Don't know about Eli, haven't spoken to him. No, he's in Barcelona. So yeah, just loads.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah, a little team, little unit.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so watch this space.
Some talent.
Right, peace.
It's